immensely exciting chapter of Hunter x Hunter. We finally get the epic battle that we've all been waiting for. Everyone's favorite creeper, Hisoka, is going to be battling against the leader of Phantom Troop, Chrollo. Did anybody see this chapter coming, like, at all? This one came out of nowhere. And you know what? I really appreciated it. It's only the second chapter we've had since the return of the Hunter x Hunter manga series, and what a better way to get people excited for it than to include an amazing action scene and a battle from two characters we haven't seen in an extremely long time. In particular, Chrollo, who has returned, his powers are back, and he even has a few new ones. And then, of course, there is Hisoka, who manages to still be one of the creepiest but most badass characters from the entire series. And you can definitely feel from his vibe in this week's chapter that he is really excited to finally fight against Chrollo. And they're going to be doing it in a tournament setting. In fact, the battle takes place at the classic Heaven's Arena Tower, and just the fact that that's how the chapter opened up, like, my jaw was on the floor. I'm like, is this really happening? This is really about to happen. Hisoka's finally about to have his ultimate battle with Chrollo. And we got to see a lot of cool techniques from these characters, both extremely classic. If you're a fan of Hisoka and his bungee gum, you're gonna love this week's chapter. If you love the fact that Chrollo can use the abilities of other people, you're gonna love this chapter. And it's made even better by the fact that Chrollo himself has some brand new abilities. The fact that he doesn't even have to hold his book anymore to use secret abilities. That's because he now has this special bookmark. He also has these brand new seals which are on his hands, which are the sun and the moon, which he can use in a number of different ways. So the battle actually opens up with him using the abilities of Shalnark, where he's able to use that weird little bat controller with these little pins that he can stick in people. And since this is a battle to the death, they can do whatever they want. So immediately Chrollo decides to take control of the referee of the match, who of course starts to attack Hisoka from multiple angles, with Hisoka having to battle against this dude, having to look out for him, and having to worry about being pinned himself. He does not want to be controlled by Chrollo. Can you imagine how pissed off Hisoka would be if he actually ended up being the puppet of this guy? It would be pretty friggin' crazy. I love this scene. I especially love it because it really shows that as powerful as Hisoka is, he still might not be as powerful as Chrollo. I mean, he is the leader of the Spiders, Phantom Troop, so he is an incredibly powerful character. He's gone up against some other really big guys, and I don't want to see the leader of this organization taken out so easily here, especially because we haven't really seen what their true motives are going to be at the end of the day, and I don't think Chrollo wants to be defeated as well, because he really pours on the pain in this week's chapter. I especially loved the scene where he was constantly stomping on Hisoka to a point where you couldn't even see his hands or his fists. He was moving that fast. And then, of course, you had Hisoka, who's trying to attack with his bungee gum, and then we get to learn that apparently his brand new sun and moon abilities allow him to create this massive explosion with the use of this referee's body. Apparently, when he puts his hands together, there are these two marks on this referee's body which just completely explode right in front of Hisoka. What's really dangerous here is the fact that he can now use hand-to-hand abilities, his brand new sun and moon abilities. He can bookmark a page of his special book which has all of those hidden abilities in it as well, so he can attack you in a number of different ways, and it's really hard to see how he's actually going to pull that off and what sort of abilities he's going to use. But predictably, as the battle goes on, Hisoka's hard-on just gets bigger and bigger, because that's exactly how he rolls. He's always looking for the ultimate battle, a battle that he can actually get off on, and this one seems like it's exciting him quite a bit, and they don't even end the battle in this week's chapter. In fact, it ends with a cliffhanger with Chrollo getting ready to unleash some sort of brand new ability, which gets Hisoka all sorts of excited. So, what's the rundown on this week's chapter of Hunter x Hunter? In many ways, this chapter should have been the one that was released last week. I think it would have gotten people way more excited for the return of Hunter x Hunter, especially because I did not imagine they would even get to this part of the story this quickly and this bluntly. I love the fact that they're getting right to this battle, and they are officially confirming that Chrollo does indeed have all of his powers back as well as some brand new abilities. He's always been a really interesting sort of villain slash anti-hero character, and I guess you could say the same for Hisoka as well, but I've always seen Hisoka as more of a villain than more of an anti-hero. So this has definitely been something of a conflicting battle, and I'm still not really even sure who I want to root for, but it's hard not to want to root for Hisoka because his personality is just so rich, and he's a character that's been heavily invested in the series, and to finally see him return like this is pretty damned great. You know, he was basically completely absent from the entire Chimera Ant arc, and then he made a small appearance towards the end where he got to battle against Killua's butler, but that was just about it. So to get to see him return and finally have his dream match against Chrollo is just really an amazing thing. I can't believe it's actually happening. I actually did like a double take and I had to make sure, I'm like, is this chapter even real? Is this really going down right now? I cannot wait to see what's going to happen, and I'm more interested to see what's going to happen when the battle concludes, because they made the rule that this is going to be a battle to the death, which means there is a very good chance that one of the two of these characters could end up knocking each other off by the end of the next chapter, although I have a feeling it's not going to go that way. I really have a feeling that Chrollo is going to try and bring Hisoka back into the ranks of Phantom Troop, and his brand new powers might actually have the ability to do that. The way his powers are displayed in this chapter also looked really crazy, with the two hands rising out of the ground with the crazy symbols on them. He's such an amazingly cool and calm, collected character, and in many ways you can kind of see that that does get under Hisoka's skin just a little bit, which I think is always an interesting element about that character. So I really cannot wait to see if this is going to be an upset battle with Hisoka just completely destroying Chrollo, which is going to send a ripple through the Phantom Troop organization, or if Hisoka is going to be killed just randomly in the series. I don't see that happening, as we have to see a rematch between Hisoka and Gon. It's something that has to happen, especially with Hisoka and his weird, like, sort of fascination with Gon and obsession with seeing him get stronger. That's my biggest reason as to why I don't think Hisoka is going to be defeated. That being said, I hope that Hisoka himself might even have some new abilities. Maybe something he can do new with his bungee gum or his cards. Maybe something entirely different. All I know is, this was a refreshingly badass chapter of Hunter x Hunter, an event that Hunter x Hunter fans have been wanting to see for a long time. They got scrubbed out when Chrollo lost his powers and Hisoka was uninterested, but now the battle is officially on, and it's going to be really exciting. This was a great chapter of Hunter x Hunter, with some really good artwork. I really enjoyed a lot of the action scenes in this chapter, especially when Chrollo was on the attack, and the look of the bungee gum that was being used by Hisoka. I still prefer the anime version of Hunter x Hunter, but I still need to get used to reading this manga version. This is like the second chapter. Really, it's more like the 15th chapter that I've ever read. I read a little bit of some of the previous stuff so that I could get prepared for this arc right here. All I know is this chapter was a pleasant surprise. It was action-packed, and all Hunter x Hunter fans should definitely check this one out. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. I am so pumped up to see what they're going to do in the next chapter, if they're going to cut away to some other awesome event, or if we're going to get back to the Hisoka-Chrollo battle. All I know is I'm excited. It's a great time to be a Hunter x Hunter fan. Let's just continue to drink it in until it goes on hiatus again. It's probably not going to happen, but then again, it might. What do I know, you know? All I know is, exciting chapter. Check it out, Hunter x Hunter fans. But you heard my thoughts about this week's chapter. I want to hear from you guys. What did you think about this week's incredibly exciting chapter of Hunter x Hunter? Hisoka versus Chrollo. Who do you want to see win this fight? Do you think there's going to be some sort of twist here? And what do you want to see from the rest of the Hunter x Hunter manga series? Please tell me in the comment section below. Did I ever tell you guys that you are awesome? Thank you for watching this review. I really appreciate it. If you would like to, please share this video with all of your friends and make sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be able to see all of our latest anime and manga reviews as they are released. You'll also be able to see our weekly podcast show, The Powerful Nerdcast. It's pretty freaking life-changing. Make sure to check it out. You guys can also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby!